Today you're going to get started on your color boot camps, and you're going to be working first with colored pencils. Now it doesn't really matter what colors you choose. I've just picked a small selection, but you'll grab an entire box and keep them there at your table. In that first box you're going to be varying pressure from light to dark, creating gradients. Now I like to work from light to dark and then add value on top of the light to make the darker values. Now if you prefer to work a different way you can, but that is just the way that I like to work. Now you really want to make sure that you have a gradual change between your light, middle, and dark values. Now if you want to try a couple different colors you can. You don't have to fill the entire box, but you should have a good strong focus on filling the box. In the second box there, you are going to be working with layering multiple colors. Now what that means is that as you work, you are going to layer the colors on top of each other so that they blend together a little bit more smoothly. So as I'm working, I've just got some colors kind of in rainbow order, and I'm going to color a dark section and a lighter section than where the layers overlap each other. So I've got a little bit of a dark band of the pink color and then a light band. Then I'm going to color over that lighter band with my orange as I then kind of fade out into the orange area, into my yellow area, green, blue, and violet area. So you want to make sure the colors overlap each other so that they are layered together. Moving on, the next technique is hatching. Now hatching is just a series of parallel lines that typically don't cross each other, but as I'm working in my hatching I'm going to use multiple colors, and I'm going to say that it's okay that they maybe overlap a little bit or touch. So you could think about texture when you think about this technique, because this would be an excellent way to add texture in a drawing. Next is cross-hatching, which is exactly the same as hatching. You're going to start with a set of parallel lines. I'm going to do several colors again, but then after you get the square hatched, you're going to go over it with another set of lines that go the opposite direction or cross. This again is another technique for adding texture. The next technique we're using here is called stippling. Now stippling is when you use dots as your color. So I'm just going to use a series of different colors and I'm just filling it in with dots. Now you want to make sure that you try to draw these dots instead of tapping out the dots. If you tap them, you're going to annoy the people around you. So again, just pick a few colors, make some dots. This is another great technique to add texture in a drawing. Your final technique here in our boot camp is working with a burnishing tool. So I have a selection of colored pencils and a colorless blending pencil. Now your colorless blender may be a little bit messy at times, so you may have to kind of rub it along the edge of your paper to remove some of that colored pencil. Now you're going to take some colors that are going to blend together nicely. So I picked 3 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Now it doesn't necessarily matter how you apply the color, but I'm using some of the techniques above, working with value, working with overlapping, and then I'm going to use my blender on top of all of it and kind of see what happens. Now if you need to sharpen that blender, you can. You can use either the electronic or the handheld. It is just like a regular colored pencil. You do though have to be careful to not drop it. They are very breakable. And when you are done with it, make sure you put it back in its own box.